Okay, so again, thank you all for attending this webinar. My name's Heather Hill. I'm with the Doula Association of Alberta, and I'll just be kind of moderating the chat and doing the introduction here. We have with us today Sandy Harris from Prolink. She is the Director and Client Experience. Is her title. I'll let her say as much more about that as she likes. And she is going to give us a wonderful presentation today about our insurance coverage that we have as members of the Doula Association of Alberta. We have a group policy with Prolink. So she's going to give us all the details on that, what's covered, why we need it, why it's important, all of those things. I'm going to turn it over to her. Just in terms of questions and keeping things moving smoothly, we will have people put your questions in the chat as we go along, and I will watch the chat as she might answer your question as she goes through her presentation, which is fine. I'll just go through the questions near the end and we'll make sure we answer any questions that she hasn't gone through. If there's something that she doesn't know the answer to right on the spot, we will make sure to add that into the webinar recording at the end, or share that information as is appropriate with the participants. So I am going to turn it over to Sandy. Here we go.
Thank you, Heather. I'll just get my screen share set up here. Right. Share. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm just going to move the screen. Everyone's over here so you can see the full screen. As Heather said, my name is Sandy. I'm the Director of Client Experience at AAG, which stands for Associations and Affinity Groups with Prolink Insurance. I'm very happy to be here today, and thank you very much to the DAA for inviting me for this webinar. I'm very excited to tell you about the new program. And let's see if I can move this a little bit. That starts with Trisura in October of 2024. So today's agenda, we're going to be talking a little bit about professional liability insurance, your new carrier, effective October 2024, some coverage highlights of the new policy, included in your policy commercial general liability insurance, your premiums for 2024, a little bit about Prolink, and how to purchase your coverage. So what is professional liability insurance? What's covered? Excuse me. Your professional liability insurance defends you from allegations of errors, omissions, or negligence committed within the scope of practice as a doula. It protects you even if the claims made against you are frivolous, and it provides coverage for financial damages, including legal fees, administrative costs, court settlements, witnesses, and damages awarded to third parties. So effective October 2024, your new insurance carrier is Trisura Guaranteed.
Anyways, I need to do the webinar stuff, but trying to freeze up.
Can everyone still hear me? Sorry about that. So effective October 2024, Trisura Insurance Company is your new carrier. Trisura is rated A-, which stands for excellent on the AM Best Rating Scale. They are Canadian owned and operated and founded in 2006. Trisura and Prolink have a very close, very supportive relationship, and Trisura is very involved in the paramedical space. They also insure many other paramedical programs for Prolink, such as paramedics, occupational therapists, lab technicians, and social workers. Sorry, I'm having a technical issue here. I believe I've lost control, Heather.
Okay, let me
try again.
We can still see your screen.
Okay, you can still see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Something happened, but okay, we're good. Sorry, everybody. So under the new policy, the scope of practice for doulas includes the following. We insure birth doula, postpartum doula, fertility doula, pregnancy loss doula, and end-of-life doula. We have also included some non-ancillary services such as prenatal massage, belly binding, lactation, breastfeeding consultation, pregnancy apparel consult, sleep consultation, infant and child car seat safety seminars, and childbirth educator. So we're really happy that we can actually add in a new modality for 2024, which is end-of-life doula. That's not been included in the coverage prior. So as of October 2024, we include end-of-life doula and sleep consultation. We can also add on pre and postnatal yoga. You need to have 200 hours of training. There is an additional premium, and to qualify, your total revenue from yoga must be less than 40% of your overall revenue. The recognized training associations under this program are BIBO-MIA, Birth Arts International, Kappa Canada, but only for their in-person training, DONA International, Doula Training Canada, Matrona, Motherwit, Pacific Rim College, Pro Doula, and 2 Labor. So why is professional liability insurance a good idea? Well, first of all, we want to help you protect your finances and your reputation. Canadians are increasingly aware of their legal rights and will pursue compensation when they feel wronged. Legal battles, medical bills, claims for property damage can be financially devastating. You can be sued just because an individual or their family is dissatisfied. A client may file a lawsuit claiming bodily injury, emotional distress, or negligence. Such as if a client, sorry, my Teams is there. If a client or an infant accidentally is injured while the doula is providing support, the doula can actually be held liable. Claim can be filed against you for that. Doulas often work in their clients' homes. So you could inadvertently cause property damage by knocking something over, destroying valuable items, damaging floors, furniture, etc., while assisting during labor. So even if a doula provides excellent care, accidents and unforeseen circumstances can happen. The insurance will help you manage these risks by covering the costs related to accidents, injuries, and legal claims that can arise unexpectedly. Commercial general liability. Commercial general liability is a portion of your policy that covers for bodily injury, property damage, or reputational harm caused by your professional activities or operations. Property damage is an important coverage when you're entering a client's home. Accidents can happen, such as knocking something over, spilling an essential oil or a lotion that you're using on upholstery or wood surfaces. Commercial general liability also includes advertising liability, tenants' legal, non-owned auto coverage, and medical payments. Your advertising liability is the legal responsibility that you may face due to advertising activities. It can include libel or slander, false advertising, using the likeness of a person in your advertising. And this could be something as simple as a post on your Instagram or Facebook on your doula's page. Tenant's legal liability is used if you're a commercial tenant for a rented or leased property. I know that doesn't apply to all doulas because a lot of doulas work from home. And non-owned auto coverage is when an individual does not own the vehicle involved in a work-related accident. So you borrowed somebody's vehicle for a work-related purpose and there was an accident. Medical payments, we pay $5,000 to any one person for any medical payments that are required due to an accident. Client awarded damages, legal fees, and medical payments for injured parties are also covered as part of this policy. So it's crucial to have CGL insurance if you own, rent, or lease a space that your clients will visit. Even if you work from home or have a home-based business, if you were ever had to have your client in your house, your professional liability and your homeowner's policy will not cover that. So a simple slip and fall on your premises could financially devastate you if you don't have CGL coverage. If you're visiting a client at their home, you could accidentally knock something over, causing damage to valuable items or furniture. If you work at a third-party premises, for instance, a hospital or birthing center, they actually may require you before you come into their premises to have commercial general liability. Equipment or products that you use with clients. So an example would be misuse of equipment, such as slipping off a birthing ball and causing injury to your client. So claims, the most important part of a policy. Despite how skilled and caring and cautious you are, if you're accused of making a mistake or face an allegation or a statement of claim, the cost to defend yourself could run into hundreds of thousands of dollars, even if that claim is frivolous and not based on anything. Doulas can face claims such as breach of confidentiality, failing to recognize signs of a medical emergency, injury to the mother or the baby during labor or delivery, failing to provide informed consent. So it's really important to know that if you receive a claim, a statement of claim, or even an allegation, allegations are made these days by text messages even. We've had clients send us text messages saying, this guy says he's going to sue me. Anything along those lines, you want to report that to Prolink as soon as possible, even if you think it's frivolous or unwarranted. The earlier the insurance company is notified, the better prepared they can be to defend you. All claims should be submitted in writing to our main email that we use for all of our communication, which is aod@prolink.insure. So once your claim is reported, Trisura will assign an adjuster. The adjuster will be that person that will be with you throughout the claim. The Trisura adjusters are super knowledgeable, very professional. If a legal team is required, Trisura will appoint a legal team, and Prolink always recommends that you use the Trisura legal team. They will already be vetted. Chances are they're also very experienced in healthcare related matters. Trisura is a very big healthcare related insurance company, so they already have vetted legal teams that work for them in claim situations. So Prolink doesn't usually become involved in the daily claims tasks. We normally don't need to because Trisura does such a great job at managing the claims process. Having said that, we always want our clients to understand that we are your advocate. We are here for you. So if anything is happening in your claim that's making you uneasy, you haven't heard back from your adjuster in a couple of days, you're not quite sure at the terminology they use, you didn't feel comfortable interrupting and asking anything whatsoever. It can be a really mentally stressful time. Pick up the phone and give us a call. We do this every day, and we're here to help you and put you at ease through the claims process. So the big thing everybody wants to know is insurance premiums. So we have a new insurance company this year because Sovereign General Insurance has removed itself from the doulas market. They're no longer insuring doulas with any of their brokers. So we had to go to other markets to search for coverage. We found that it was very difficult to find coverage. A lot of insurance companies are hesitant. The big thing is because doulas is a non-regulated industry. The second point would be because a lot of the underwriters don't understand the industry. So we fought really hard, but we did find a market in Trisura. You'll notice the premiums have gone up this year due to the items that I just spoke about. Because the rates have gone up, Prolink has removed their policy fee, and we will not be charging a policy fee this year or next year. And we also have, Trisura has also agreed, if the loss ratio for this program stays under 25%, they will not increase the premium in 2025. I'm very confident that there will be no increases in 2025 because the loss ratio now is extremely low. It would take a number of catastrophic losses to bring us up to that 25%. So I am 99.9% confident that we will have as-is rates as of the October 25 renewal. Please note the rates are for individual coverage only. We do not insure clinics or organizations with employees. If you have a personal corporation where you've incorporated your own name or entity and you don't have any employees, it's just you, you can still purchase coverage under this program. The rates this year are $198, starting at the $1 million coverage limit. A 2 million limit is $306. The 3 million limit is $410, and 5 million is $515. The policy deductible for all limits is $1,000. So one of the items that I wanted to speak about is how a gap in coverage can be created. This policy and your sovereign policy is a claims-made policy. So that means that there must be continuous coverage in place between the time the event or incident occurs and the time you report it. So once your policy is canceled or lapsed, there is no coverage in place. So to illustrate, if a client makes a claim against you after the date your policy has lapsed, but the event actually happened when your policy was in force, because your policy's lapsed, there's no coverage anymore. So the solution for that is an extended reporting period policy. We also call it an ERP. You might have heard a discovery policy or tail coverage. So this is a policy that is specifically designed to provide coverage for prior acts, and it's used when professionals are no longer practicing. Prolink recommends that you maintain ERP coverage for 5 years after you're done practicing. A little bit about Prolink. So who is Prolink? Well, we can connect you with the right coverage, with the right insurance company at the right price. We are a national independent brokerage. We offer tailor-made insurance solutions, and we specialize in the program space. We have been serving doulas for over a decade. We have the network, market power, and influence to negotiate savings for your unique needs. We have access to 30 insurance companies, and we have over 40 years of experience. We will leverage our relationships and our reputations to be an advocate for you, especially in claims situations. How do you purchase your coverage? You are going to purchase your coverage through the DAA as you obtain your renewal membership. You would come to us if you have questions or policy changes, claims, or questions about any of the coverages under the policy. The email address to reach us is aod@prolink.insure. We also have a web page specific for doulas, and there's a lot of information in our Prolink webpage, frequently asked questions, a little bit more information about professional liability, commercial general liability, etc. And that concludes the end of my presentation today. Thank you very much for listening. And please, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Sandy. That was very comprehensive, but also like very understandable.
Thank you.
So many times, and when I've communicated, in the past with Prolink, I'm like, what does this acronym mean? And needs some deciphering. But I felt like it was very in line with what we were needing. If anyone who's on the call, we have about 10 participants, which is amazing. If you have some questions that you want to put in the chat, or if you're not able to type and you need to unmute yourself, we can definitely do that. Some of you are probably on the go. There was one question that Rebecca put in the chat for us. So her question reads, is there any way to receive coverage if trained under a different organization? If the training shown to be comprehensive, and if not, is anyone aware of other insurance options? So do you want to speak to that? I can speak to it as well, but.
Yeah, well, as you know, Heather, we work really closely with the DAA to make sure that, because the DAA is vetting the training organizations. So when we were going through the RFP, we checked in to see what organizations have you already vetted. And if we do get other organizations that aren't on the list, we actually will come to the DAA and ask a little bit more about them. We just want to make sure that they're doing the proper training with the required hours. And of course, we always look to the DAA for their expertise as to whether or not these organizations should be vetted and added to the list.
Yes, so just from DA perspective, to add on to that, if you have training under another organization, contact us, let us know the training organization. We'll have a conversation about, what the syllabus of that training is. We may do a bit of vetting, or we will do some vetting just to make sure that it covers all of the topics that we want our doulas to have as their foundation for their doula work. And then we'll be in contact about whether we can approve that training or not. So yeah, so that's that question answered. And then the other part of that, are there other insurance companies that are insuring doulas right now that you're aware of?
I think Zensurance might have a program.
Okay. So, I mean, just to let people know, like Prolink had done a lot of legwork over the summer in trying to negotiate this new policy for us with Trisura. And we had explored like other options. You guys had put the call out, is my understanding, for doula coverage. And this was kind of the best thing that came up for us as an option right now. But of course, people are always welcome to pursue that, you know, on their own and reach out and see what other options are out there. Okay, so another question has popped up from Brielle. She says, if I have an online prenatal course, will this coverage cover if I get sued by someone in another country? So she's teaching the prenatal course, is my understanding from that question. Someone in another country is taking the course and then makes a claim against her. Would she be covered?
Yeah, so teaching is not part of the scope of services covered under the program. So in an instance like that, we would have to place you outside of the program, so the rates would differ a little bit. Chances are Trisura would still be the coverage provider that we would approach. You'd just possibly be looking at higher rates.
Okay, so I'm going to follow up on that because childbirth education is one of the listed modalities.
Okay, let me make note of that.
Under our modalities that are listed. So,
and this is in another country, right?
I think she's saying she is teaching childbirth education as a doula, offering it as an online course, and may have a participant
in another country.
Who lives in another country. So we may need to follow up on that if you need time to.
Yeah, I've made note of that to look into it.
Okay, next question from Riley is, in your experience, how much liability coverage is sufficient? Is 1 million enough?
That's always a great question, but it's a question as a broker that's really hard to answer. What is an injury to somebody? What is a life valued at? You know, everybody's going to have a different answer for that. I personally tell most people to buy 2 million. I just don't think $1 million's enough anymore. So personally, I usually say 2 million is where you should start. But is it enough? Again, who's the one that's putting a value on a life, like, or an injury that occurs, or if you knock over a valuable item? It's a really tough question to get into, because there could be a point where you never have enough if you get a hungry lawyer on it.
And follow up to that, does the liability coverage also cover legal fees?
Yes, it does cover legal fees.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, childbirth educator. Yeah, I did say it was coverage, but I think I got confused by the course. So in teaching that course over in another country, perhaps maybe you could elaborate a little bit more. Are you looking for coverage for, like, are you afraid of the patient of the person you trained coming back and suing you, or the person you trained coming back and suing you?
I will see if she's
still there.
She is on the call, if she can pop that on, or you can even unmute yourself, Rebecca, if you want. A follow-up is from Christy on the same topic. It's just, I do online courses and doula consultations, which include all regular doula conversations with the exception of in-person birth support. still offer calls, video calls during birth. How would this be affected? So if we were a virtual doula, we actually never do any in-person support with clients. Is that?
So that would still be covered. Your risk actually would be a little bit less. You wouldn't have any real risk on the commercial general liability side because there's no in-person contact, but you would still need your professional liability, and yeah, you would definitely be covered. This would be pregnant women. I'm teaching childbirth education classes too. Okay. So Brielle, let me just double check on the territory. I just want to make sure before I do answer. So the education would definitely be covered, but I want to double check the territory for you.
Thank you, Sandy.
No problem.
And lots of us teach our clients or other people who are potential doula clients in that way. So I think that's an important point to consider. Not always out of country, but I mean, we educate with our clients, do childbirth education as part of our work as a doula. So that's,
okay.
it's important.
Yeah, check territory. Country.
Christy says, I'm new to the insurance piece of the business. How to get this insurance? So maybe, I mean, you might have missed that portion of the call, I'm not sure, but through the DAA, we offer insurance coverage as part of our membership. So if you go to the DAA website, you can see what all the criteria is for purchasing your membership, which would include insurance if you meet the requirements. And then you can just purchase through that. We will send you the we'll send you the certificate, or it comes from Prolink within about a month of your purchase, and you'll have it that way. So very easy to purchase through the association. If you have any questions, you can ask the association through the website and just follow up that way. If you were wanting to purchase insurance outside of the association, I believe Prolink does have that option available as well. So I don't know if you want to speak to that, Sandy, because there may be some people on the call who are not members and are just wanting some information about insurance.
Yeah, so we do have a non-member pricing. It's much more expensive. I suggest you go through the DAA. You're not only going to get the insurance at a better rate, but you're also going to have the association advocating for you as well. But if you flat out do not want to join the association, we do have an alternate option. Your 1 million pricing is well over $300, I believe, for that. So it is more expensive.
Okay, thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.
And Christy said thank you, perfect. So I think we answered her question. All right, I'm scrolling through. I think we have gotten through all the chat questions. One last call. If people
Any more?
have
Yeah, I don't see any new ones popping up.
But if you, like, after the call, get off and you have some question that jumps in your mind, just send it to the DAA email, and we will answer that question if we can, or forward it on to Sandy to get the answer for you. And I just, again, want to really thank everybody for attending today, for Sandy for putting this presentation together. I know she's worked hard on it over the last couple of weeks. We kept throwing more questions at her.
Well, better to get them all out, right, Heather? So they're all answered. Yeah.
But yeah, it was lovely to see all of you on the screen and share this information with you. We will post the presentation on our website as well, so that members can see that and have it as a quick reference. And we will make sure all of our links to that webpage for doulas, to Prolink, is also up to date so that people can access information that way as well. All right, well, thank you all very much. Lots of
thank you very much. Yes, it was great. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming and joining us.
Thank you.